I don't actually want to give this bike away. No, I'm serious. No, I'm honest.
I don't know. You'll have to let me finish putting the bike together.
Sorry. I'm sorry, but I do like this bike a lot.
Hey, welcome back to Project Trek. Today we are going to be doing a review of this Tesco Enterprise Step-through. Say hi, Sage. No, maybe not. All right, so we're going to go ahead and unbox this thing, go over some of the specs, and I'll ride it a little bit and give you my impressions. Before I get too far, it is important to tell you that Tesco is having a Black Friday deal starting on the 11th of November. It's $500 off, so that's $14.99 minus $500 brings it to $9.99. And I'll tell you, for $1,000 to get this quality of bike with these accessories standard, that's a really great deal. So if you're looking for a Christmas present, or if you've been waiting to buy a bike for the right price, I'm gonna say this is the time to do it. This is a great bike, a great quality bike with a lot of nice features and accessories for a great price. All right, Sage, let's get this thing cracked open and see what it can do. So everything has come packaged very nicely, very secure. Always a good sign. Okay, so this is a first that I've seen. This is an integrated battery and seat post. So the seat is mounted right on to the battery. That's pretty interesting. The charger and the battery manuals comes in a little separate box, and then one smaller box with some accessories. Looks like reflectors, pedals. This does come with a included front rack. It's always this powder coated steel tubing. Seems like with every bike I get, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's always metal shavings inside here that will always make noise for the life of your bike, no matter whether it's, you know, an expensive rad power all the way to one of these less expensive bikes. So I tried my best to put this thing together without any of the instructions. I made it a little bit of the ways. What's interesting though is that this seat battery combo, I could not get it to sit inside the seat post snugly. I just could not figure out what was going on. Then I realized that I had put this, there's a little sleeve or insert that I actually put with all the packing material, because I thought it was garbage. I thought it was just part of the packaging, but that is actually a critical part that helps this battery sit snugly inside the seat post. So don't throw that part away. You can see here that the seat post actually has this lock on it, and that's what locks the battery in. So something else that I haven't seen before, and I'm also not crazy about, is the way the battery docks into the bike. Well, because this is the seat post, it just slides down this hollow seat post tube, and at the bottom there's this 90-degree elbow connector that actually threads on, kind of like a cam lock, onto the bottom of the battery, which, man, I'd hate to hit that with a rock. Maybe riding through a puddle. I'm not crazy about that design, but I also haven't ridden it yet. So, and I will say, this kickstand type thing, or bike stand, I guess it would block anything that would kind of threaten hitting this connector, but it's just an interesting design. So as far as the instructions go, they are actually pretty good. A lot of these Chinese-made e-bikes come with instructions where it's clear they didn't use any English-speaking advisors. This actually makes pretty good sense. Anything that's not in here is pretty self-explanatory. This bike did come with a tool set of anything you would need to assemble the bike.
It's step-through, solid seat. Honestly, look at the cable. It feels really sturdy, and like the seat comes automatically.
That's powder coated steel racks versus these kind of aluminum utility racks. That's definitely for someone to sit on.
Look at this. Does that feel solid? Yeah, I feel a lot more confident with the kids sitting on this because it's actually made for kids to sit on.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I really like this.
Now, because this is a folding e-bike, it does have these collapsible pedals, which it does actually help in some situations if you're really tight on space, like especially we are, because we travel full-time in this RV. So we got to be able to collapse these things down as small as possible so that they fit nice and don't kind of bang against each other. Last thing to put on before we power this thing up is the running boards. These are actually pretty high quality compared to anything else I've seen as far as running boards go. They'll attach right there so that your rider can sit comfortably and prop their legs up without getting them caught in the chains. I think we're ready to power this thing up and see what it can do. Okay, so here's the finished assembled bike. I wish I had more scenic backgrounds, but you know, we're in Vegas. Asphalt parking lots is what you get. And we're gonna power on the battery. All right. And then we're gonna press the power button on the bottom of this thumb control. Okay, screen's on, there we go. That's actually my first color bike screen. Looks good, looks good. Rather than the regular black and white LCD screens. All right, let's take this thing for a spin. First thing I'm noticing is that it's not a thumb throttle, which is my favorite type of throttle. It's a hand twist throttle. But that's okay. It's okay. Let's see what it can do. And, oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so first thoughts, it's pretty torquey. The brakes work pretty decent right out of the box. I'm sure I'll have to do a little micro adjustment on them, but that's okay. So it seems like the pedal assist modes also kind of top out at certain speeds. So let's see if we can get this thing up to 28. We've got it on, let's see. We'll go to pedal assist 5. All right, and let's see if we can top this thing out at 28. Okay, so we didn't get to 28. I'm sure I could have gotten to 28 had I been pedal assisting. Pretty comparable to all the other e-bikes that I've had in terms of speed. Okay, so I was able to get it up past 28 miles per hour. Very torquey, which I like. Like for instance, Rad Power bikes, their throttles have kind of like a built-in, I don't know, it's like a buffer where when you twist the throttle, it doesn't give it all it's got right away. It's kind of like a two-stage throttle thing, which makes it a smoother acceleration, but I didn't like it at all. Wow, this one reminds me of the Troxus e-bikes. Very torquey, which I like. Okay, well, I ran out of time to really do a full test today. just had too many things going on. You know, we promised Ella we'd get to the climbing gym today, so that's where we're headed right now. And the full test is going to have to continue tomorrow. But I'm excited. It's a very torquey bike. I like it. The specs look good on it. The price range seems pretty comparable to most other e-bikes. So I'll say that the pros with this bike are not going to be the price. It's not going to be the specs. It's going to be that it comes with some pretty legit add-ons that are normally extra. But it comes with that rear seat standard. It comes with the color screen standard. It comes with the running boards standard. And those are some legit running boards. Okay, so for a quick comparison, I brought out this Electric 2.0 folding e-bike to kind of show some similarities and differences with this Tesco Enterprise. Both are folding e-bikes, although the Electric does fold down into somewhat of a smaller footprint than the Tesco. Here you can see both bikes folded up. The Tesco is just slightly taller than the Electric folded up. I wouldn't even call it a noticeable difference, really. Both offer a standard rear rack, although the Tesco does come with a padded seat cushion for the back. There are a few things straight out of the box that Tesco does a little bit better than Electric. Let's talk about those. So this Tesco battery is 48 volt, 18 amp hour, and 864 watt hour. Let's compare that to the Electric battery. This Electric battery that goes into the frame of the bike is, let's see, 48 volt, 10.5 amp hour, and 500 watt hours. The battery in the Tesco is significantly more powerful, yet the range is just about the same on the Tesco as it is on the Electric. Both e-bikes boast a range of 45 miles on a fully charged battery. You know, all the tests being equal, flat terrain, same PSI in the tires, all that. And keep in mind that is with pedal assist engaged. If you're doing throttle only, it's going to be significantly less. I believe it's about 30 miles on both bikes. Given that the specs on the Tesco battery are so much higher, I'm not exactly sure where all that power is going. I will say that the Tesco is a little bit more torquey than the Electric, so maybe it's going into faster acceleration. I'm not exactly sure. Now, another thing to consider is the weight of the bikes. The Electric weighs 62 with the standard options, and the Tesco weighs 66 with the standard options. So, you know, that weight difference wouldn't account for the difference in battery size, but it is something to consider. The Electric comes standard with the rear rack, and that's actually about it. Even the seat post that we put in is an upgrade with a kind of seat suspension in it. Speaking of suspension, the Tesco has a front suspension only, just like the Electric. If we're talking displays, let's take a look at this. Sorry for the little chip in the screen. You've got a pretty basic, large readout black and white screen. Over here on the Tesco, we've got a color screen with pretty decently sized numbers on it. So the information given on the screens is the same. All things being equal, I guess I do like the color screen a little bit better. The backlight is a little bit easier to read in the dark, although I do need to turn down the brightness, especially riding in the dark, because it is kind of blinding. So at a starting price of $9.99 for the Electric and $13.99 for the Tesco, you do wonder where they're coming up with that number. Well, actually, what's nice about the Tesco is that it comes standard with a lot of upgraded features. So upgraded front light, standard front rack, standard rear rack with seat cushion for a rear rider. The kickstand is actually much beefier, which is great for situations like this loose gravel. It's got a much larger footprint on it, and it just stands up nicer. Now, both the electric and the Tesco have 20-inch tires, but this is a 20x4 and a 20x3. So a much wider footprint on the Tesco. Okay, so final thoughts. The Tesco Enterprise Step-through e-bike, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I was actually pretty impressed with the build. I was really impressed with the accessories that came with it standard. And with the Black Friday sale being $500 off of $14.99, you're getting a really high quality bike for under $1,000, right under $1,000, which puts it at the same price point as a lot of these e-bikes that are on the market right now, but you're getting some really decent, actually some really great accessories with it standard. So the Black Friday sale going on from November 11th to November 28th this year is a great opportunity to get this bike at right under $1,000.